with the man, myth, the legend, Mr. Greg Dickerson. How you doing, sir?
Doing fine, Michael. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. I've been looking forward to this conversation all weekend. Something that you know about me is I've been studying the consumer for well over 30 years now. They are the driving force of the American market, 68% of GDP. But what I have seen over my lifetime is when the citizen, the populace of a country all kind of moves in one direction, or at least the majority, it can be a stronger driving force than the military. And I bring this up because I think we are experiencing it right now in Russia. I think what you're seeing is a large portion of the Russian citizens aren't happy with this invasion. They are now seeing the world turn on them, and they are doing what they can. They're going to the banks, taking cash out. I'm sure there are bank runs going on now. You've seen just lots of things going on. So what do you think about that? Do you think the Russian citizens, really could cause this maybe a resolution sooner than maybe Putin would want if they revolt at home?
Yeah, that's the idea, right? So the idea is to put pressure on, the citizens of the country to ultimately overthrow and revolt and, get rid of Putin. And, what's going on there is very interesting, and it's not the people of Russia. Unfortunately, they're going to get labeled potentially, but everybody knows it's not the general citizens of Russia. We've seen them protesting.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen them risking getting arrested, thrown in jail. I mean, there's more police officers in Russia than there are in the army.
Oh, wow.
Soldiers fighting. Russians have more police than they do soldiers.
Wow.
So if that tells you anything about what it's like to live there and be there, Russians that I've seen are not for this. They don't support it. They hate it. They're embarrassed. Putin has crossed several lines and he needs to be just out. He just needs to be thrown out and removed. Question is what replaces him, and the last time somebody tried to oppose him, where's he? He's in jail.
Yeah.
So I'm not an expert on Russian politics or any of that, but, the world has united. The world's rising up against this situation. When you start threatening sovereignty of a nation and then threatening nuclear weapons because you're so desperate and you're losing, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
And, how do you apply pressure? How do you stop that? You got to get the people to turn on its own government and, basically overthrow it. So, yeah, it's the effects are happening already. The real effects probably won't be felt for, another 3 or 4 weeks, but
yeah,
it's starting.
Yeah, there's so many things going on from an economic perspective, and that's what I've studied forever, right? So you've already seen just this morning, the central bank, or their morning, I guess, or yesterday, whatever. Central Bank of Russia raised the Fed fund, or what their Fed funds equivalent, to 20%, up from 9.5. Why do they do that? Well, they're trying to encourage people to leave their damn money in the bank, and that's not happening because on top of that, I'm sure you've seen the ruble has had 2 days in the last 5 where it fell between 25 and 32%. Russian citizens are going to see at least 70% inflation in a very, very short order. And I don't care, the Fed funds rate's at 20 and inflation's at 70. That's not good. That's a bad situation.
It is. And when the police don't get a paycheck and can't feed their families and they are feeling the results of all that, not so sure that they're going to be doing what they're doing now. They're going to be standing out there with the protesters. And I don't think it'll be very long for that to happen, especially with Putin threatening nuclear, nuclear options, whatever he's trying to threaten, war, usage, those types of things. His own people are going to rise up real quick.
Yeah, that's where I think this is going. And again, I think, the populace, the citizens, whether it's Russia or other countries, I've seen it throughout my review, when they all kind of, or the majority of them go against, you can see it could happen relatively quickly in the scheme of things. Yeah. And he is increasingly isolating himself. And this thing may resolve because Russian citizens say that's enough. And wake up one day and it's over.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, but they're going to need, support from the government, from other people within. And, there's been talk of the Julius Caesar moment happening potentially, for people that don't know what that is, was where Julius Caesar gets stabbed in the back in the palace or wherever it was. I can't remember, in the Senate. But that's a very likely possibility. I mean, the dude's out of his mind and he's not rational, and everybody around him, I think, is starting to realize it. And his own people, his own oligarchs, they're feeling the pinch. At some point, yes, it becomes a situation that you're just creating your own demise.
Yeah, and hopefully, again, hopefully that's sooner rather than later. Hopefully it's within hours or days, and this event, could be behind us, and we could just get to not thinking about nuclear war, because that's the end of everything. And we don't want to go there. And the fact that he even mentioned that or threatened that just shows you how out of his mind he is.
And desperate. And so the interesting thing is, like, I think Switzerland came out today and said the likelihood of him actually using those weapons are minimal, less than a 3% chance. But a lot of people didn't think he was going to invade. A lot of people said when we were talking about it, they're not going to invade, not going to happen. Even people in Ukraine, didn't think it would happen. And look what he's done. Now that it's not going his way, we know he's a narcissist. We know it's all about ego, power, control. And when he sees that he actually has none and he's actually getting beat and pushed back, and it's not, what he wants is not going to happen. There's no telling what lengths that he'll go to hang on to that power and to get his way. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's not possible.
Oh yeah.
He could be completely out of his mind for all we know.
Yeah. So let's bring it home to US citizens or citizens in other parts of Europe or Asia, Australia, South America, Africa. What we are likely to see, again, I think we're seeing already, is oil is going to jump. I think Goldman Sachs is saying it could hit 115 because of what's going on. You are also seeing the dollar get stronger, right? We've said for years now, you and I, times of fear, people rush to the dollar. Where can you see that most likely is the 10-year treasury is under 1.9, where it was approaching 2.1 just a few days ago. Gold is up, I believe, as well. So again, when people are fearful, they rush to the dollar, and we're seeing that once again, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think you might see treasuries as low as 1.5% before they reverse course at some point. I don't know where it's at right this second, but go
ahead.
Yeah, it's a full-on flight to safety, and people want to go where they know that their capital is going to be safe. And I think, the 10 years at 1.8 right now.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I think, from that standpoint, the flight to safety, it is what it is. I mean, there's a couple other countries out there rattling around saying we're going to get rid of the dollar. Obviously, North Korea, China, Venezuela or whatever, a couple of little countries, but okay, what, a few billion? I mean, come on.
It's nothing.
But they're ultimately not going to hurt themselves. They know where the safe haven assets are. They have to say things to show their support for what Putin is doing. But at the end of the day, the world safe havens are what they've always been. It's the dollar, it's US treasuries. And I think everybody in the world, what's really cool about this, the entire world is uniting. Everybody's rising up against this.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying, I'll take some pain to get rid of this guy. Go ahead and raise rates. Go ahead and give me some inflation. Go ahead and cut off our oil, raise the prices of gas pump. We don't care.
Yeah.
We'll pay $10 a gallon for a while if it gets rid of Putin. So
yeah, it does feel good to realize that everybody's willing to take their share of pain to get rid of this dictator and just bad actor. And again, I think it's days, if not weeks away that it could hopefully happen. And again, I'm curious because we have a Fed meeting. Powell, his cronies are coming together. I think it's the 16th of March. So call it 2.5 weeks from now. Do you think this gives them pause? Or do you think because this is probably inflationary, right? Oil is in everything. So this is not going to make inflation better.
Well, it's commodities. So wheat, oil, other things. And just, we're already facing that anyway. So, I think the Fed is painted into a corner. They have to stay the course. They have to do what they need to do to get inflation under control, because this is going to cause more inflation. So what they're really up against is stagflation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what they're really facing now, because they've got rising interest rates. We've got slower growth ahead of us because of the inflationary situation and environment we're facing. So I think they have to take action. They have to slow demand down and put the country in a recession. They have no choice.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that in episode 2, what is called demand destruction. But before we get to that topic, Greg, how can people find you?
Greg Dickerson. All my info's there. YouTube channel, podcast, gregdickerson.com. Go check it out.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.